Good evening from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 13th of December 2023, 8:59 p.m. I've just seen I've got to quickly plug us in because battery is about to go. My life is ever and eternally needing to be supercharged by something or other. I was looking forward to a good supercharging, I was. But there will be supercharging on Friday night, my darlings, when I revivify after a shitty week with shitty people. I will be revivifying my life wildly and triumphantly as I do every weekend. But I'm just, it's been very, very hot. And I'm very, very tired, haven't slept for weeks. But I'm looking forward to the triumphant wild dancing that I do on Friday nights. And yes, so I've decided there's only a few short paragraphs, but it ground my gears that I had to interrupt us by going to my psychiatry appointment today. And I like to do things in full completion and come to fruition and finish what I started, right? It's just one of these things about me. I like to complete a task. Because I spent years not completing tasks because I was too mentally unwell, really, and I just didn't care. But now that I'm, reasonably okay mentally, I like to see things through to their natural conclusion. So, so I'm going to finish off my readings that I started today. This is part 2 of the 13th of December 2023. Part 2, babies. Part 2. So here we are. I shared the photos of the pussycat who's dead now and the dog who's dead now, and it's all very tragic. We're back to 13th of December 2015. Eating toast with hummus and drinking tea. The puppy loves are up for the count. Socks is most displeased, but I gave him a bowl of milk to comfort him in his puppy sequel pathos. So now he is smugly licking his lips and paws on my dining table. Spoilt bratty cat, but adorable. First time he has been home during the day for a while. He is reclaiming his space at Sacred Space. Loves his mama T. He really did love me, that cat. I mean, all my animals love me, but Socks and I had a particular affinity for each other. Socks and Penny. And Sophie was fond of me, but Sophie was a calico cat and was very much in her own little world most of the time. I guess the equivalent of pussycat Asperger's, I don't know. But she was a very strange little cat, but she was fond of me too. But the other two were extremely close to me, extremely bonded to me, which was lovely. Eating pasta salad with mushrooms, tomato, feta, snap peas, Lebanese cucumber. Actually, I could do with some of that right now. And balsamic vinegar made by moi. Drinking wine. Actually, yes. I've got mushrooms, I've got cucumber, I don't have peas. I've got feta. Do I have balsamic vinegar though? I don't think I have that. Anyway, made by moi, drinking wine, calming the fuck down. No Valium in my house for nefarious reasons. I don't need to somatize myself out of my wits. I have a wonderful life with my garden and pets. Now, bear in mind this was 4 months after my suicide attempt, so in 2015. So I was very cautious and conscious that not to push my nervous system too far. because it can have deleterious results if I get pushed too far by awful, evil, nasty, savage people, or if I overwork myself too far. I made a lovely sterling silver chain today. I've finished it. I've just finished soldering all the links. I've just got to put a clasp on it. And I've got a longer version, but I made a matching shorter version so I can layer pendants, because I'm into, like, you know, wearing what I've got, using what I've got, right? And I'm very happy with it. It was a lot of work, and I had a little bit of struggle soldering the links for some reason, whereas last time I didn't go through so much trouble. But I guess practice makes perfect. The more often I make it, the better I'll get, right? So I've still got to tumble it and give it a good polish, and yes, I'm very happy. But I think I might make the clasp, I might make it the actual toggle clasp myself, because I can buy them fairly cheaply, but just for the fun of it, just to make my own, right? Just for the experience and extending my skills slightly. So I might actually do that. See how I feel, because I'm very tired too. Sock stayed home with the mama today. He doesn't like the smell of wine though, but ate a tiny piece of feta cheese. He likes to be rolling with the human homies, aka eat my food. I caught him face down, bottom up in my salad, but relented by giving him a bit of feta. It might... I mean, you have to laugh. It might have still had pussy breath on it. Lucky I am not squeamish. I figured since he had his face in it, I might as well give it to him now. I wasn't going to eat it after he had his little schnozzy in it. I mean, I love that cat, but not enough to, like, eat out of his mouth, for the love of God. But anyway, they all had their advocate and worming last night, so it won't kill me if we eat from my bowl, even if it did give me a pause for thought. I should have spelt that pause, P-A-W-S, instead of P-A-U-S-E. But anyway, he was a lovely boy, and he now lives in as ashes on top of my cabinet in what used to be his bedroom. And it's all very sad. And this is my life now, people, going on about my dead cats and my dogs, instead of having wild, passionate... No, I'm joking. I really don't care. I know when I've been played for a dick. It's okay. Life goes on, people. The right man won't play those emotional games. I am now in the hammock with my puppy, who has had an attack of the savage wolf that is latent in all dogs. Just calming down. Phew. Finishing off the wine. Third glass, not too bad. Then gonna watch Netflix movies. I have settled down inside my brain. Bit scary a few hours ago. I know, crazy chickie, but you wouldn't want me any other way, babies. I must have drank a fair bit of wine back in the day. I very rarely drink wine now. Sometimes when Jared comes over, we have Moscato. But I bought some beer in anticipation of this so-called new friend allegedly visiting. And when that didn't happen, I thought, fuck it. Dulcie is in the house. Dulcie's my beer drinking persona, which she comes out in summer. So Dulcie went, fuck it, I'm going to have those beers. They were mango flavoured beers I bought in some little bottle near the Woolies. And so I had one every night for 4 nights. And then on the last night, which was a couple of nights ago, I had 2. So hardly a drinking problem, people. But I might buy some more beer. I actually enjoyed that very much. But then, of course, if I buy more beer, I'll be inclined to drink it, and it'll make me fatter. And then I'll get maudlin about game playing psychopaths, and then I'll throw my beer bottles at them. It's a lovely thought. This is all happening in my mind, people. It's not real. And nothing's real. It's all illusion. It's all in the Matrix. It's all illusional, delusional bullshit. It's how I've been made to feel by this idiot. But anyway, it's all good. It's all good, darlings. I enjoyed the beer that he's never going to get now. It's like, it must be something that about Englishmen. They're all sadists because it's like that twat. Oh, I haven't told you this, have I? Oh, yes, because I wrote about it on Facebook. Oh, well, anyway, there's a whole other story for you. But it's like that twat Dave, right, who was also from England. He once made me make him 2 cheesecakes because he said he wanted cheesecakes. I don't know why, but I made 2. And then he went, yeah, I wasn't coming over to eat them anyway. I was livid. I was so livid because it's a lot of work to make cheesecake, which he probably hasn't realised because he's, you know, whatever. So anyway, and I thought, here's this same scenario with this other flaming pom saying he's going to visit. Oh, but I got COVID. Oh, but I had to go to work. All right, well, fuck off. I drank your beer. That's the moral of that story. But here's what I'm going to update you on, right? It's been a very spiritual day today. I was very emotional after my readings that I presented to you in part 1 because they were intense writing and very emotional. It was very raw and I was ragged. Plus, in the morning, I had gone to pick up my corsets, and I think I mentioned it in the first video. I was driving home and the song came on my radio. No aphrodisiac like loneliness. You shouldn't leave me alone. And I was getting all emotional over that because that's my dad's song. It's one of the songs my dad used to sing to me because he was a bit of a weird ass and a pervert. So I came home and I was sitting in my driveway finishing off the song, right, before I went to my psych. So anyway, so a bit later, I go to my psych. I'm driving to my psychiatrist, and because I was frantically, you know, recording video 1 of today's even date readings, I had left myself only 20 minutes to get there, and you can get there in 15 if you drive like a maniac, but you risk getting speeding fines, right? So it takes a good 20-25 minutes to get there at the speed limit, leisurely pace. And I normally leave like half an hour before because then I get there a bit early, and with my anxiety it gives me time to just, you know, chill the fuck out before I see my doctor, who, you know, he's so used to me. We've been in therapy together for 13 years. He knows if I'm not chilled or whatever, but he just accepts me as I am, you know, because I'm his patient, for the love of God. So, but anyway, I didn't get to do the chilling out before I had our appointment because I drove, you know, very focused, very intently, because I was in a hurry to get there because I didn't want to be late. So I'm driving and I'm focused on the road, fully conscious on the road, not really looking around at any cars around me. Well, why would you? Because when you drive, you're facing forwards, but you check your rear vision, you know. But you're not like constantly looking in your rear vision mirror, are you? So anyway, here's the spiritual thing that happened that was weird. So I stop at the lights and I just happen to glance over, and I'm directly opposite on Mains Road, opposite the entrance to the Mount Gravatt Cemetery. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I went there not long ago, about 2 months ago, and I was like, oh, you know, that's a nice thing to do on a sunny afternoon, is walk around the cemetery and just, you know, put stones on all the graves of people that I knew and loved and or liked at least a little bit. I even put a stone on my enemy's grave last time I was there. I mean, how sweet am I? Anyway, but I did as a mark of honour, because even though he was a bastard to me, old Emmanuel, like I had been in his classes for quite a long time. So anyway, I did do that, because integrity is everything, people. So sort of glancing over at the graveyard, thinking, oh, you know, maybe I should go there after I finish with my psych. And then I was just so kind of, because it was hot in my car, and I was sort of kind of leaning against the window with my hand up, holding my head, like kind of like this, holding myself up, right? So anyway, but I'm looking straight ahead at the road because I'm waiting for the lights to change. And I get this feeling of warmth wash over me, and it's a particular feeling I get whenever I run into Dave Charles. That's how fucking spiritually connected to him I am. And like, it's not good, people. He's not my lover. I mean, he was once upon a time, but we're talking fucking 8 years ago. You know, he's not my lover. He's never taken me out on a date. In fact, he did nothing but degrade and debase and humiliate me back in the day and rubbish me and play games even with cheesecakes, which I exacted the most perfect revenge, but I won't tell you that because that's private and that's not to be shared on YouTube. But it was wonderful revenge, in my opinion. I mean, it was the gift that just keeps giving, really. But anyway, so, I mean, nothing too bad, people, but it involved, no, never mind. Have a little bit of privacy, Tanya. You don't need to know all my business. But anyway, so I did get my revenge about that, about the cheesecake. I was really pissed off. Don't make me cook for you and waste my time. Remember the story I told you about my ex-husband when we were first married, when I cooked him the lovely dinner and he went, "What's the shit?" Well, it was shades of that, like the disrespect and the dishonour, right? So anyway, but I feel this warmth wash over me. It just went from my head over my shoulders, down my body, like just kind of, yeah, not all the way down to my feet. As soon as I felt that, though, that energy, it's like this, it's kind of like being soaked in treacle or molasses or honey. It's like, it's sludgy. It feels thick and a little bit cloying. But it's like a love energy, but it's a strange love energy. Because the man doesn't love me. I mean, if the man loved me, he'd be with me, wouldn't he? Not all the evil bullshit he put me through over the last 8 years until 3 years ago. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And so as soon as I felt this wave of warmth energy, I recognised it immediately. I was like, oh my God, that feels like Dave. And I was almost, it's like being, my life has reached a point now, it's like living through a fucking horror movie on every vector, you know, our government, our society, my love life, dealing with people out in the scene, even going to the supermarket can be a bit fucking weird sometimes. So anyway, so I'm like, oh dear goddess, and I thought, don't look in the rear vision mirror, Tanya, just don't look. But, you know, it's like it's like when you reach the crescendo part of the horror movie where they're like, no, don't look, he's behind you. Just don't turn around. Leave, don't get scared of that ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And it was that moment where you're just like, I have to look, I have to. So I glance up into my rear vision mirror and I see Dave sitting at the steering wheel of a massive big 4-wheel drive brand new Jeep. He must have got money since like the last time I saw him because he used to drive around a shitty old Jeep. So, I mean, I don't care, don't get me wrong, I'm not envious of anyone. Good luck to him. His missus is probably wealthy and he's probably freeloading off her. Like he freeloaded off me for TVs and cheesecakes that he didn't even want to partake of, really. The cunt. So anyway, those were trivial things in comparison, but he's upgraded. He's found himself a sugar mummy and, you know, whatever. More power to him. But anyway, so I'm looking in the rear vision mirror and I see him, and then I sort of glanced and thought, no, this cannot be happening to me. Nearly every Christmas round about this time of year, in fact, I think it's almost on the same date. Today is my mother-in-law's secular birthday. Because her Jewish birthday is the third candle of Hanukkah. But it's almost on the same date. We run into each other, me and Dave, old mate. So I'm thinking, how is that possible? It's like weird. It's not a significant date in our brief relationship we had. I don't know why that is. So anyway, I'm looking in my rear vision. I thought, oh, maybe it's not him. And then I looked again, and he's looking like this, and he's got a particular shape, aquiline nose poking outward. And I thought, it fucking is him. He had sunglasses on, so you couldn't see his eyes, but it's him. Saw the dreads, saw the pointy little weasel fucking face. I don't know why I was ever in love with that man, honestly. And it's just awful how I get haunted by him every Christmas. It's just beyond awful. And I don't celebrate Christmas, so it makes it even more awful, right? It's straight up out of a horror movie. So I look again, glance again a second time to make sure, because I'm in shock thinking I felt the distinct energy signature. That's definitely how I sense him. It feels like you're being bathed in treacle, right? And I was like, my God, it actually is him. I mean, this is a big city, people. What is the odds? And I was a bit confused because he had a different vehicle from I remembered him driving. And I thought, oh, no, it can't be him. So I had another quick glance. It was him. So you know what I did? Because I'm angry right now after the bullshit with the other bleeding pom. You know, the 6 sadistic games they play with. It's just horse shit. And, you know, so anyway, so I just went, looking in the rear vision mirror, I just went. And the song on my radio in my car playing was Jesse's Girl. So I cranked the sound up because I'm bumping to Jesse's Girl to the line. Where will you find a woman like that? And I'm trying not to laugh hysterically, like I'm trying to be cool. But I'm like popping in my car, and then the lights change and I just drove off, and I was like, there you go, motherfucker. Merry fucking Christmas. That's your Christmas present from me. The fickle finger of fate and Jesse's Girl playing at just the most synchronous, appropriate time. So my dear old dad haunting me with no aphrodisiac like loneliness this morning was actually a my father had a really sick, sarcastic sense of humour, like really dark. So did my mother, and kind of so do I. But I was wondering this morning, why are you sending me that song? I'm not lonely. I have YouTube, I have Facebook, I have Charlie, I have my jewellery making. I'm not that lonely. All these sick individuals that think they're going to wind me up and be cruel because they think I'm pathetic and lonely, they've got me wrong, because I keep myself very entertained in my own space-time continuum, minding my own business, stopped at a red light. So anyway, I drive off, he drives off in the other direction. Thankfully, he was heading towards Sunnybank and I was going to my psych. So I go down Kessels Road and I go into my psych. I said, you wouldn't believe what happened, Brian. He went, what? I said, it happens every Christmas. He went, oh, not Dave again. Because he even knows, you know. I went, he was parked up behind me at a red light. I said, what's the odds of that happening in this city? Is a huge city. And Brian just smirks at me because he knows it happens to me. Like in 2022, 4 times I kept running into, on average every 3 or 4 months, I'd run into Dave at the crossroads, always at the crossroads, which is why I invoke Papa Legba, who is the god of the underworld and of the crossroads, right? So I thought, oh, that's why I was focused on looking at the cemetery, thinking about going in after my psych appointment, because Papa Legba is the god of the underworld and of the, you know, hangs out in cemeteries and is most potent at crossroads, which represent the 4 directions, right? And the liminal space between time and space and dimensions. It's all very potent. So anyway, so Dave didn't turn up at a crossroad this time. He was directly behind me, but it's not been on my mind. For once, for the first time in many years, he hasn't been blipping on my fucking radar, except that, you know, I think day before yesterday he flicked up on my Facebook as I put a post on a buy and sell thing, and I was like, why did he flick up on that? And I thought, oh, I must have looked at his profile at some time, and so the algorithms flick him up occasionally. So I just deleted it. I just ignored it. I was like, you know. And so it's kind of weird that after that happened, because I was a bit weirded out by it, but I was like, it's algorithms, that he ends up stopped at the red lights behind me. Like, that was weird. And, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not all turned on or excited by it or anything. I just think it's weird. It's weird how he does that every single year without fail. And I have never celebrated Christmas or Hanukkah with him or birthdays with him. He's never dated me. He's never taken me out for a meal. He's never treated me like a human being. He's just back in the old days, thrown the leg over a couple of times. I think it was once every 2 years, but twice had the thing go, and just used me. So what is this obsession with him following me around at Christmas? It's very strange. And I don't think it's like he's conscious of it either. Like, don't get me wrong. He did used to front up at drumming. So I'm going to drumming on Sunday. I hope he doesn't front up there. He hasn't for a long time. But if he does, I'll just get up and walk out. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not there to, be stared at by ex-lovers who were creepy and weird and just had no love towards me and no decency. But yeah, that treacle feeling that washes over me is really bizarre. It's like a really bizarre soul signature that I have with him. I wouldn't call it love, people, because he's not in love with me. He treated me like absolute crap. But it's how my spirit recognises when he's around. It just lets me know, just washes over me. It's very powerful. So that's how I realised it's not him, it's me. It's me that picks up on these people, which is why I was trying to involve having the same level of intensity happen with this last fellow, because I could see he's not really serious either. And I don't want a soul connection with someone who's not serious. It's going to waste my time for another 10 years. I'm getting old. I don't have time to waste on idiots. I really don't. And also, I've got a few people at the club that, are showing interest, and I'm not engaging with them either. It's like I'm just going and dancing and going home like I have always done. And if someone's seriously in love with you and wants to be in a relationship with you, then they make an effort to let you know, like, let's go out, Tanya, let's sort this out, let's make an effort, let's work together on this. It takes two to be in a relationship, not me doing all the emotional and fucking spiritual and mental work and spinning on a dime, right? No. That's not cricket. That's not fair. It's not Jamaica Mun. So they can all fuck off. That's where I'm at now. But anyway, my true friends who love me will be there at the Brooklyn Standard on Friday. And I'll have fun dancing and being silly as a wheel. And I'll have a few drinks and I'll be joyous. And the rest of them who aren't sincere or authentic or even kind can fuck off. Simples. It's that simple. But anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you because, I look at my own videos from time to time and get insights like, oh yeah, that happened again. It's a repeat pattern. And, oh, that happened again. And I sometimes find myself, even laughing at myself, how often these cyclic events keep reoccurring. That's how I know, my dead mother-in-law's birthday, and Dave turns up. So not to talk to me, but just in the car behind me. It's still a bit odd. It's still a bit random because this is a population of 5 million? I don't even know what our population is in Brisbane at the moment. I think it's 5 million people. And it's like random how he pops up. But, as I said, he just got the middle finger salute. And life goes on, babies, because I'm not engaging with idiots. Certainly not cruel, sadistic, hello, awful men that did me no good at all. Look at me, strung out again, alone at Hanukkah time, when I should be having, beautiful man in my life, being loving and kind to me and sweet with me, not this being traumatised by ghosts from the living ghosts from the past. I call them hungry ghosts. They're just hollow men and hungry ghosts and NPC ghouls. They're just not even worth the time I took to explain this story to you, but I'm doing it out of sheer, almost scientific interest. spiritual paranormal interest, how it repeats. I said to my psychiatrist, I said, Brian, I said, I need an old priest and a young priest. And he laughed. He went, you do kind of need an exorcism, Tanya, that this keeps happening is kind of bizarre. And I was like, I know. He said, all the priests in Adelaide are now gay and or pedophiles. I went, that's not good, Brian. He went, no, it's not good. I don't want a gay pedophile for an exorcist, Brian. He just looks at me. I was like, I'll have to do the job myself, Brian. I've been known to do exorcisms in my day. Probably not as effectively as a priest of the Catholic Church does, because I don't have the Latin mass and I don't have the jargon, but I have done my own exorcisms in my day. And so anyway, that's kind of interesting though, thinking about it, that Dave popped up on my radar and my periphery behind my car, because last night I wasn't sleeping because of my bladder. I was up all night and I got a bit strung out, and I actually thought, I can't live like this any longer. Something has to change. And I was freaking out. I was having a moment of actually freaking out for a while there, around about between 3 and 4 a.m, you know, the witching hour, and people usually die, by the way. So I sat in the middle of my hallway, which is kind of a portal. I noticed when Beauregard was dying, he was seeing spirits coming and going from that hallway, because he was basically hallucinating and or actually seeing spirits preparing to take him, right? I had no idea he was going to die shortly after, but that's what was going on. So anyway, I sat in the middle of that floor, naked, in the cool wooden floor, and just said, you know, angels and ancestors and spirits that love me, you need to help me with my love life. It's just a constant cycle of horror and misery and grief and disappointment and treachery and betrayal and men cheating on me and being deceptive. Even if, like, this guy reckons that I'm accusing him falsely, well, if that's the case, I didn't actually accuse him of anything. I just said basically what's happening, asked a serious question, expecting a serious answer, got lashed out at. So I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, bye. I can't be bothered playing games. Life's too short, you know. So I said to the spirits and ancestors and the house spirits that are, you know, the house is very happy that I actually communicate with it more now. I know that sounds weird, but there's a real peace in the house now. It's like everything feels valued and cherished and appreciated, and it just surrounds me in this mantle of calm and peace, you know. So I just sat there and said, what shall I do about my love life? It's just constant horror. Is it ever going to end, you know? Of course, I didn't get an answer directly from the spirit world. Oh, but I did, didn't I? No aphrodisiac like loneliness. You shouldn't leave me alone. It's just my dad's song. And yeah, Jesse's Girl. Where are you going to find a woman like that? Well, where are you? I'm unique. I'm eccentric. I'm unique and unusual and interesting and loving, and most of the time kind, unless I catch you fucking me over. Then I will unleash holy hells on you, but fair play, you know. I never start a fight, but I finish every motherfucking one. That you can put that on my gravestone one day. Oh, well, I won't have a gravestone, will I? I'll be cremated. But you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. I finish every fight that anyone starts with me, because there's no need for that behaviour, you know? I was wanting something beautiful and loving and sweet and kind and heartfelt, and already it's already past, turned to shit. So anyway, I want to sing Are You Strong Enough to Be My Man, because that was another thing he lied about. Oh, how do you call me a liar? Well, you've lied about a lot of things. Lied about writing a song using my words, which is also a way of using me, by the way, because you're taking my lyrics and probably profiting by it, if he ever does it. And all the other lies you know. But anyway, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I'm grateful for the experience that I realised after meeting him and seeing how terribly excited I got over him, because he was spiritual like me, and I thought he might be a good friend, a good companion to have down the track. You know, someone that's on my page, vibing with me. So naturally I got excited, but because of that I found out, right? All the men getting all excited at the club around me because I was conflagrating my sexual energy and getting excited and the frisson, people, le frisson. Other people observe and notice that, and they light up around me, and it becomes a contagion of love and sensuality and a bit of lust occasionally. But I don't work the lust quotient, because I need to keep safe. You know, I need to come home safe to my home and not be used by any malfeasant fucking things that have got no heart and soul towards me and are just walking appendages with, I mean, you might as well just buy a freaking, what do you call those things? Vibrators, and paint a moustache on it. It's got more personality than most of those dudes that you meet out in the scene that are not genuine. Like, I'm really pissed off, people, because I thought this last guy actually had a personality and was a bit of a gentleman and was a bit sweet, and no, it went toxic again. So I know why it went toxic, because he started getting all sexual with me, and then when I wouldn't take the bait, because I'm not a flaming whore, then he had to get nasty. So this is where it goes down, people. It always goes down that way. As my psych said to me, you were quite happy and comfortable flirting, being a bit cheeky and playful and having fun with men. He said, but when they start getting all sorted with you, it turns you right off. Well, yeah, because the sordidity shouldn't be happening. You know, they should wait till you're actually in a relationship with them and already having, you know, the in-loveness and the sexual feelings before they turn sordid on you. But no, they have to ruin it by being too fucking full on. And, you know, at the end of the day, the right man will respect me. Zip, done, dusted. And dear old Dave, who can only send me his energy signature while he's parked behind me in someone's brand new Jeep, feeling all smug and self-satisfied and superior with his fucking shit cunt personality. The best he can do is just wave me goodbye as I continue on down the highway to hell and the stairway to heaven, living my best life, which he had to watch me do for many years, which used to really grind his gears. Anyway, fortunately he doesn't come to watch me and be a voyeur anymore, so he's obviously settled down with someone that, you know, he's getting plenty of nookie and he's self-satisfied and, you know, can let me go and be happy now, and that's all I want from life. It's just let me the fuck go and let me be happy, even if it means I'm alone for the rest of my life. That's still a triumph than being with some fucking malfeasant gimp that doesn't have any love for me or even human decency, and it's just, I mean, you just want to stick a fucking ball in their mouth and chuck them in a dungeon and set the place on fire. I mean, no, not literally. That's not very nice, Tanya. Calm your farm, Tanya. Calm your farm. But you know what I mean, don't you? Like, they're non-entities. I should have put the window down and said, there's a cemetery over there. Go and do your dark death fucking syndrome over there. Don't bring your shit to me. Papa Legbar's waiting. Scared the bejesus out of him. That's what he needs. A good bejesus scared out of him. Anyway, what can I say? I know, crazy chickie, but I wouldn't want me any other way. That's how I finished off that last paragraph. 10:43 p.m. I'm feeling much better after my afternoon of mad belly aching, PTSD triggering memories that led nowhere but down a dark, empty spiral to hell. Lessons will be repeated. I told you, I'm on the same fucking groove every Christmas, the same run around. I'm in hell. I'm in hell, people. And even an old priest and a young priest can't release me from hell, especially not a pedophile priest. I have had some wine, some lovely chats with my lovely friends. 3 rabbis couldn't release me from hell either. Some lovely chats with my lovely friends, some epic cuddles from the cats and Beauregard. Well, when they were alive, they were the closest thing to having family and comfort and real love and heaven as I could get. And now they're all gone, except for Miss Charlie. Tomorrow I will be in a Byron Bay state of mind. I do need to go to Byron soon. I really feel like a dying fucking salamander flapping away in the desert somewhere. Already feeling the Zen zone inspiring my brain circuits. Fresh salt water, waves, sun, and the beautiful spiritual ley lines. Closest thing to heaven I can get without actually dying. I am so glad to be going. Another day, a one-day holiday from my mundanity and slowly rotting membranes. I will be feeling refreshed and happy. I am now in bed with Miss Penny, who I found in my bed already waiting for me. Little Beau is in his crate. He didn't want to go to his bed until he had peed outside and had a little diabolical twirl of frenzy for another minute, but he has settled down to sleep now. Such a good puppy dog. I have lit the last 8 candles for Hanukkah. Tonight is the 7th night, people. Asked Hashem for my usual request. 20 years of waiting for that one to be answered. Well, 29 now. But you never know. One day I just might be lucky and get it. Now to watch a movie, then sleep. Lila Tov, Kiss 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 from Sacred Space. 13th of December 2014. I had a great night out last night with Karen, who is coming to stay over tonight, so we will be out again. I didn't wind down or get to sleep until 7 a.m. and I woke up at 10:30 a.m., then 1:30 a.m. Supercharged. I'm also madly in love, unrequited as usual, but I'm loving the intense, beautiful emotions. Now that was the 13th of December 2014, and I ran into that fucking snaggletooth motherfucker today behind my car. So maybe that's why he keeps resurfacing at exactly that date, because here I am, madly in love, unrequited. It's like being tortured, isn't it? It's like being tortured, people. Well, I'm not madly in love anymore. I'm madly in love with myself, trying to free myself of this curse, if it is at all possible at this late stage of my life. Here I write, back in 2014, I need to move forward, but I seem to not want to. It's both frustrating and awesome. Mind you, I once spent 5 years in love with a cruel, vicious psychopath, and he fucked my mind that whole time, knowing I was unwell and vulnerable. That was David Davidson. This guy is different in that he is honest with me, that he is fence-sitting and doesn't know how to handle me. Read, coward. I have been very honest with him about myself, laid myself bare, and presented my soft white jugular. Oh, Tanya, that was such a foolish thing to do with a man that wasn't worth a scrap of your spirit. So far he has remained calm, accepting, but detached, yet does not discourage my attention. This inspires me in so many ways. Poor bitch. I'm the poor bitch. It's very rare that I call myself a poor bitch, because if anyone else did it, I'd knock their block off. I was referred to that when I had major surgery in 2007 by a nurse at the QE2 hospital. If I wasn't strapped to the bed on calipers with my legs, I would have got up and I would have hit the bitch for doing that. Evil they were. So when I call myself a poor bitch, you should sit up and take notice, because it's an awful thing to say to someone who's grieving and struggling or extremely ill, as I was when I had that surgery. 13th of December 2011, 1:11 a.m, make a wish, lol. I wish for, long pause, a happy new life. And other cool stuff I'm not telling, so I can be sure it comes true. Night, dream time. Well, in those days I was going to the clubhouse, so it must have been somebody I liked there. There were a couple of blokes I liked there, actually, that didn't come to fruition either. They were intimidating by me too. Big, wild, burly, bikey boys were intimidated by me, babies. What does that say about my warrior goddess energy? It's potent, isn't it? I don't even have to try. All I have to do is show up. It's that potent. Home from dinner at Gale's, Moroccan lamb hot pot to celebrate Lucy's birthday. Actually, I remember that was a lovely meal Gale cooked. Let's be fair. Why is my computer doing this? It's being naughty, blanking out on me. Lucy gave Gale a liqueur she got as a present from a judge at the drug court called Lock Up. Gale shared it with me. It tasted nice, like a wine liqueur. Jesus, we were living the dream then, weren't we? Wine liqueur called Lock Up, delivered by a judge at drug court. Oh dear goddess. Oh well, hopefully Lucy's better now. That was 2011. I rang Trish and told her I'd come to the clubhouse on Friday night, as I've been distressed with the failed mediation. So I need to feel like I'm living my best life, and hopefully I'll pick up a nice fella. We laughed. Mostly I just played pool with her upstairs. She was a pool shark and bet me most of the time. Except when I was really, really drunk, I would occasionally beat her. And then she'd be like, how did you do that? And I'd be like, my angels. She said she'll be there on Friday night if it's definitely on, and she'd let me know by text if it's cancelled. This is when I was made welcome and they liked me coming there, by the way. I told her I'd let Tina and Doug know that it's on, so they were a couple I befriended there. Tina was a very nice woman, actually. I hope I met someone I fancy on Friday night, which is usually very rare that I fancy someone, by the way, which is why I'm really enraged that I've been played for a fool by the last fellow, because I don't usually fancy men very often. It's rare. It's been 8 years since I fancied anyone, really. The storm made me horny again. Lol. I want to have wild, passionate sex soon. Lol. When was that? Let's go back. 2011, wasn't it? I didn't have wild, passionate sex till early 2014. So that took 3 years to manifest, and then I got all emotionally strung out over that one. And the best he can do is sit behind me at red lights being smug. So I don't regret giving him the middle finger and cranking up Jesse's Girl, because the timing was so synchronous and appropriate. You couldn't have a better fuck off than Jesse's Girl singing at the top of their voice, "Where can you find a woman like that?" Anyway, that was the last time I had wild, passionate sex with... I mean, I had sex a few times after that, but it was pretty mediocre, actually. And, yes, and then I gave up completely. Yes, July 2015 was the last time. And, yep, now I'm like, let's have wild, passionate sex, shall we? But it has to be someone I really am really in love with and trust, because it's not going to be wild or passionate. It's just going to be mundane if I don't trust them, because I'll be sitting there at the other end of the side of the bed going, "So what's happening now, dude?" "Oh, I don't know, Tanya." "Well, I'm bored with you now. Get out." So I can't stand boring men or ineffectual men that just tease and play sick games. I can't abide it. I can't abide that bad behaviour. In fact, there were a few men that I picked up between 2011 and 2015 that I actually threw out of my house. I went, "Get out of my house." It's like just too fucking weird and creepy. Can't have that. Can't be triggered. So I'm okay, even though I may never have wild or even passionate or even sex again. I'm actually okay with that. I'm just disappointed and upset at the moment, because I was, investing in someone emotionally and hoping it would grow into something lovely, maybe for the first time in my life. But no, alas, no. So that's my video, and remember, love is the law, love under will. You have to give your love freely or not at all. Love the one you're with, and if you're with the one and they don't love you, just look at this little puppy face and remember, your true loves might not even be mortal, and in this case he was very much a mortal, my little Beauregard, but he was definitely not human. He thought he was a human though. But look at that little baby face, and look at me, how in love with him I was. And Dave was even vicious and jealous of my puppy. Yes, he was he accused him of biting him, and to be fair, Beauregard did bite him, because Beauregard was a bitey little bastard when he was a puppy. He bit everyone. But anyway, Beauregard proved to be a much better judge of potential love partners than I was, and gave him the arse. So, my beautiful Beau. He probably recognised the Sozo demon that Dave's got tattooed on his fucking arm with his Led Zeppelin symbols like a twat. And Bobo knows when he sees a demon to go, snap, snap, snappy. Because after all, we are of the light. Even though I'm a dark witch at times, we are of the light. I can spiral down into the darkness with you. But look out when I soar back up into the light, babies. And as I made in a comment in a video the other day, my guardian angel's exhausted. She smokes. She's taken up all sorts of weird habits. But she was very mischievous today. Was it her or Papa Legba? I'm not sure. Anyway, I made a little offering to Papa Legba, because voodoo gods and many other shamanic gods need their offerings. You must not upset them. So I didn't have any alcohol in the house, because I drank all the beer the other day, or the last of the beer. So what am I going to give? An African voodoo god for an offering? So I gave him some Angostura bitters. Because alcohol, it's actually 12% alcohol, I believe. So I bet you that'll be gone by morning. You can call it evaporation, but I bet you that'll be hoovered up. He actually prefers cigars, and I don't have any cigars in the house. I must buy some. Black coffee. I've given him black coffee in the past when I didn't have anything in the house, but he actually came through in a meditation and said, "You can do better." He was annoyed that all I was giving him was black coffee. So yes, so usually if I have some Jack Daniels, I'll give him a bit of that, which he doesn't mind that, but he prefers rum. But yeah, so he got Angostura bitters, and hopefully, look at, I'll show you, this is just a representation of it doesn't actually look like this, but my beautiful Jared makes these, I'll bring it into the light, makes these AI, he calls them AI selfies, and he made me a image of Papa, a representation. Let's do it properly. There we go. Of Papa Legba. So he's a very handsome looking man. In fact, if I met him out in the scene, I'd be like, hello. But no, Papa, don't get any ideas. I already dance with Lady Death on a regular basis. It's enough guardians of the underworld. Just here you are, my darling. Have you? Oh, it has evaporated too. Have your Angostura bitters. I know it's not rum. It's the best I can offer you, my darling. And did you hear that bell when I said that? I'm dancing with. Did you hear the skirt clang? Was it this? Sounded like it a bit. Anyway, the gods might be crazy, but I'm staying very sane and sanguine and happy with my relationship with the Holy One and all manifestations, which includes the fairy realms, the voodoo gods, the Buddhist, tulpas, the all that is, whoever comes to help me purge and eliminate the evil that existed in my life since early childhood, caused by the initial wounding, and is willing to love me and support me and bless me with a wonderful life and a wonderful man, even at this late stage of life, then I am humble and grateful and appreciative of all the love bestowed upon me by the gods, the ancestors that love me, and the voodoo gods at times, or the fae, or whoever comes into my life. I don't know who was with me this morning and this afternoon, but that was very potent. So yes, my little prayer that I put out at 3 a.m. saying, we need to fix this, angels. I can't go on living like this, isolated and marginalised and under constant attack by tricksters and evil people, or maybe not evil, but people that actually don't have any pure intentions towards me or any real kindness or love. I'm done living like that. I lived like it to the point of, brought me to the brink of suicide, at the casino. So it's interesting because I blocked a woman that actually was a friend of mine for many years at the casino. I blocked her last night because I saw that she's friends of Dave, one of Dave's friends that used to leer at me for years at the casino, and she'd go and gossip with him, and it used to grind my gears a bit back then, but I never really thought that it was like anything malevolent towards me. But she put a post up the other day how she's getting massages with him and all this weird shit. I thought, right, you're enmeshed with them. I don't want her gossiping and running shit back to them from my Facebook, right? So block, delete. I'm cutting all ties to those malevolent ones. So it's interesting, the second I actually cut out one of the conduits to him. He appears behind me at the red light. It's kind of weird and interesting that happened. But I'm okay with that because I'm in a continuous state of opening up more and more to look true and enduring, loyal, faithful, respectful, honouring, mutually exclusive, monogamous, faithful love with a human man who is, gorgeous to me and passionately and romantically in love with me. That's what I want. I don't want these dead shits that can't make up their mind or tease or play sick sadistic games. That's not what I want, I don't want them to start with their abuse dynamic straight away, going on about vagina dentata and fucking putting me down for my irascible wit, and it's just not cool, dude. Not cool. If he still watches my videos, it's not cool what you were doing, and I'm onto it. And you can just kiss off into the sun and whatever, like sayonara, sweethearts. I have been upset about it because I got my hopes up, but I don't want another abuser in my life. I've had a litany of abusers. Fuck. It's just too much. Too bloody much. Anyway, this video that was only going to be a short part 2, finish off the readings, has been very raw and emotional and heartfelt and authentic, and given my enemies a lot of information they can use against me, but I don't care because it's the truth. And if all they get out of it is flogging in their socks with their pathetic schadenfreude and their voyeurism, then that's just sad for them, isn't it? Because I'm not wallowing in your shit. I'm moving on, babies. Friday I'll be dancing wildly and joyously as I do every weekend, but I have a funny feeling, I don't know why, but this Friday there's going to be some kind of encounter or spiritual message imparted to me that is heartfelt and genuine and loving and sweet. And maybe I'm delusional and sleep deprived, but I just have a feeling that there's something really lovely going to manifest on Friday night. I'm not saying I'm going to have sex with anyone, people, don't get me wrong. I've got zero interest in that. But just that someone might step forward and say, I really quite like you, and give me something to work with rather than this nonsensical going nowhere muck that has been thrown at my door like a dead rat that my cat used to bring home, It's like empty and vapid and soulless. It's like, nah, fool. I need a man who's a real man, who knows who he is and is proud and happy to have me on his arm because he knows who I am as a woman, as a spirit, as a witch and as a shaman. He's proud and happy and values deeply and appreciates me deeply and honours me deeply. And did I mention deeply? There's someone out there. There's someone out there, because this haunting and hunting of ex-lovers and that happens with monotonous regularity happens every time I'm ready to move on, babies. It's like, what about me? It isn't fair. I couldn't get my shit together and now you're moving on without me and you're in my skin and in my hair. But, maybe you should have thought about that before you shoved woman after woman after woman in my face at the pub, at the Elephant, at the West End Drumming Circle, at the casino. That was the really sickest thing of all. Maybe you should have thought about your behaviour and why I would not want you in my life after that. It's like, you know, just, it's not my job to raise these men up like my own sons and teach them a bit of couth and a bit of manners and a bit of courtesy. It's not my job. If your mother couldn't do it and your fucking education system in England couldn't do it, then why should it be my problem? I've got my own life to lead, and I have couth and honour and integrity, by the way, even though I swear like a sailor and I drink Jack Daniels and I dance crazy. I have a lot of fucking integrity and honour, you know. So treat people with kindness and respect, and as a bare minimum, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone's going to be madly in love with you. That shit happens, but just have a bit of fucking dignity. But anyway, there's my little Beauregard, and my little Bobo had dignity. He was a real man. Sometimes he'd try to hump Mama's arm though, he was not allowed to do that. But most of all, you know, he was a real man, doggy. Anyway, on that note, good night from me at Sacred Space. Have a wonderful Christmas. To those of you who are Christian and observe your Christian traditions, have a wonderful Hanukkah. It's the 7th night tonight. I haven't bought myself a present this year. I normally buy myself a little treat at Hanukkah, but the treat is, what is my treat? Paying $97 to get my corsets cleaned. I guess that was my treat. It was a bit of a fucking ouch, but oh well, it's happened now. And, you know, going dancing. That will be my big treat this weekend. And by then Hanukkah will be over, because tomorrow's the last night of Hanukkah, the 8th night. So anyway, happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas and happy whatever other holidays to whatever culture or faith you belong to across the globe. And happy Saturnalia, happy Yule. You know, this is a magical time of year, and be at peace, be in love with yourself and with your true beloveds who love you back, and yeah, leave the rest to wallow in their own dust of their own making, and live free, live joyously, and live abundantly. God's bless from Titania's realm at Sacred Space.